Hello students, while discussing atomic models, we have done with Thomson's model and Rutherford's model of atom, and the main limitations were Rutherford's model were that it could not explain the stability and it could not explain the line spectrum of hydrogen atom as we had discussed in previous lecture about the atomic spectra. So, to explain that atomic spectrum, it was Niels Bohr who applied Planck's quantum theory to explain the structure of atom. So, let us discuss Bohr's model of atom in this lecture. So, Niels Bohr in 1913 was the first to explain the structure and spectral lines of hydrogen atom quantitatively. His model was based upon Planck's quantum theory, and though this theory is not the modern approach towards the structure of the atom, but it can still be used to rationalize many points in atomic structure and spectra. And he successfully explained the line spectrum of hydrogen by his concept of atomic structure, and he also calculated various formulae for describing the energy and radius of the orbits. So here are the postulates of Bohr's model of atom. First postulate was an atom consists of a central heavy positively charged nucleus surrounded by electrons. As nucleus concept was given by Rutherford, and further the concept of orbits was explained by Bohr in a different manner. Second postulate is the electrons can revolve around the nucleus only in certain specific circular paths with a fixed value of radius and energy. Means electrons सिर्फ उन्हीं circular path पे orbit करेंगे जिनका energy और radii fix होगा, and these orbits having a fixed radius and energy are called energy levels or shells or orbits, and these shells are represented by letters. First shell is represented by K, then L, then M, and then N, and the values of N is corresponding to that particular shells are 1, 2, 3, 4 respectively. Third postulate is electrons एक्चुअली जब तक एक पर्टिकुलर ऑर्बिट में रहता है तब तक कोई एनर्जी ना वो लूज कर सकता है ना वो गेन कर सकता है. दैट मीन्स इट्स एनर्जी रिमेन्स कांस्टेंट while it is present in a particular shell. So energy of an electron in an orbit does not change as long as it remains in a particular orbit. Hence, these energy levels are also called stationary states. तो इन energy levels को बोहर ने स्टेशनरी स्टेट्स टर्म भी यूज किया बिकॉज द एनर्जी ऑफ दीज इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर रिमेन स्टेशनरी, मतलब कांस्टेंट रहती है एनर्जी जब तक इलेक्ट्रॉन उस पर्टिकुलर ऑर्बिट में रहेगा. हेंस द ऑर्बिट्स आर नोन एज स्टेशनरी स्टेट्स. फोर्थ पोस्टुलेट इज इलेक्ट्रॉन विल जंप फ्रॉम लोअर एनर्जी स्टेट टू हायर स्टेट when it absorbs certain amount of energy. मतलब अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन कुछ अमाउंट में एनर्जी एब्जॉर्ब करता है तो उस बिकॉज ऑफ एनर्जी एब्जॉर्ब किया तो एनर्जी बढ़ गई है, दैट मीन्स इलेक्ट्रॉन विल बी एक्साइटेड टू सम हायर लेवल. सपोज अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन N1 में है तो इट विल एक्साइट टू N2 और N3 और एनी हायर लेवल by absorbing certain amount of energy. Or when it jumps back to that normal state, मतलब 2 या 3 हायर स्टेट से जब वापस N1 पे आएगा जंप करेगा, then it will emit a certain amount of energy. तो एनर्जी का एब्जॉर्प्शन कब होगा? जब इलेक्ट्रॉन लोअर से हायर ऑर्बिट में जंप करेगा, और एनर्जी एमिट कब होगी? जब इलेक्ट्रॉन हायर से लोअर स्टेट में वापस जंप करेगा. फिफ्थ पोस्टुलेट इज फ्रीक्वेंसी ऑफ रेडिएशन एब्जॉर्ब्ड और एमिटेड. अब ये जो हमने देखा, इलेक्ट्रॉन कैन जंप फ्रॉम वन शेल टू अनदर बाय एब्जॉर्बिंग और एमिटिंग रेडिएशन. तो these radiations are either emitted or absorbed during this transition, and this was calculated by Bohr using this formula, and this nu is equal to delta E over H. Here delta E is the difference of two energy levels which are involved in for particular transition. For example, transition is taking place for E1 to E3. मतलब E1 से E3 पे जब इलेक्ट्रॉन जंप कर रहा है हायर ऑर्बिट की तरफ, तो इलेक्ट्रॉन अब्जॉर्ब एनर्जी की फ्रीक्वेंसी अगर हमें निकालनी है तो वी कैन डिफरेंशिएट E3 माइनस E1 over H. H is the Planck's constant here. And during emission, the reverse will take place. So these final and initial states can be used to find out the energy difference and to calculate the frequency of the radiation emitted and absorbed. Next postulate, he was also able to calculate angular momentum of an electron in a given stationary state, and he said that only those orbits are possible for an electron. Otherwise तो आप इमेजिन कर सकते हो कि न्यूक्लियस के अराउंड एटम के अंदर बहुत सारा एम्प्टी स्पेस है, कहीं पे भी इलेक्ट्रॉन रिवॉल्व कर सकते हैं, बट दिस इज नॉट द केस. अकॉर्डिंग टू बोहर, only those orbits are possible in which the angular momentum of electron is a fixed value, that is, it must be an integral multiple of h over 2 pi. h over 2 pi एक constant term है, उसका एक integral multiple होना चाहिए. For example, अगर first shell में electron rotate कर रहा है, then it must be, या n की वैल्यू आप 1 पुट करिए तो एंगुलर मोमेंटम वुड बी h over 2 pi. सेकेंड शेल के लिए इट वुड बी 2h over 2 pi. थर्ड शेल इट वुड बी 3h over 2 pi. तो सिर्फ वो ही ऑर्बिट पॉसिबल होंगे उस फ्री स्पेस जो न्यूक्लियस के अराउंड प्रेजेंट है, जहां पर इलेक्ट्रॉन का एंगुलर मोमेंटम h over 2 pi का इंटीग्रल मल्टीपल होगा. So this was very important postulate of Bohr's model, and this is also called as quantization of angular momentum. Quantization का मतलब होता है कि कोई भी वैल्यू एब्रप्ट नहीं हो सकती किसी भी इलेक्ट्रॉन के एंगुलर मोमेंटम के लिए. Rather, they will be certain fixed value and they will differ by certain integral whole numbers. Like here we have discussed how h over 2 pi, 2h over 2 pi, 3h over 2 pi. So these are certain fixed values which are assigned to the orbits for any electron to revolve around the nucleus, and this is called quantization of angular momentum. So after the postulates, next we come to some calculations. Bohr successfully calculated formulae and radius of वेरियस ऑर्बिट्स फॉर हाइड्रोजन एटम. मतलब हाइड्रोजन के एटम में जितने शेल्स प्रेजेंट है वहाँ पर, उन शेल्स की रेडियस अगर आपने फाइंड करनी है तो यू कैन ईजिली कैलकुलेट बाय यूजिंग बोहर्स रेडियस फॉर्मूला, एंड इट इज रिप्रेजेंटेड बाय Rn is equal to A naught n square. Here Rn is, R is radius, n is the number of shell. For first shell you can say R1, second R2, third R3, fourth R4, as so on. A naught is a fixed value, a constant value, which is 52.9 picometer, or in angstrom you can say 0.529, or you can also use in picometer as well. This is actually the radius of first orbit of हाइड्रोजन एटम. बिकॉज बोहर ने जो भी अपने मॉडल के पॉस्टुलेट्स दिए थे या जो भी मॉडल उसने एक्सप्लेन किया था, फर्स्टली ही डिड दैट फॉर हाइड्रोजन एटम. तो फॉर हाइड्रोजन एटम फर्स्ट ऑर्बिट इज 52.9 picometer radius, and this can be used to further calculate the radii of other orbits. For example, as you can see here in the diagram, if you need to find a radius of second orbit R2, it would be equal to A naught n square, that is n square means 2 square for second shell, तो 4 multiplied by A naught, और you can say if A naught को अगर हम 52.9 की जगह simply R1 कह देते तो R2 would be equal to 4 R1, R3 would be equal to 9 R1, and R4 would be equal to 16 R1. तो यहाँ पर n की वैल्यू आपने पुट करनी है, and you can simply find radius of orbits by using this constant value 52.9. Now for some other elements. तो this was तो for हाइड्रोजन. अगर आपको किसी और हाइड्रोजन लाइक स्पीशीज के लिए रेडियस फाइंड करनी है किसी भी ऑर्बिट की, you can simply use this formula Rn is equal to n square a naught, ये same formula है, divided by the atomic number of atom. You just need to divide this equation by atomic number of that particular element and you can find the radius. Next important formula which were given by Niels Bohr were to calculate energy of stationary state. As we have discussed that Bohr successfully calculated energy, radii, angular momentum, everything for the orbits. That is why he was able to define the fixed orbit concept for atomic structure. So he calculated this by using this formula En is equal to minus 2 pi square m e raised to the power 4 z square over n square h square. Here pi is constant, m is mass of electron, e is the charge on electron, z is the atomic number, n is the number of shell, h Planck's constant. But you don't need to remember this formula because all the constant values, when they were the values of these constants were put and the further calculations were done, then it becomes En is equal to minus 1312 z square over n square kilojoule per mole is the value of energy for 1 mole of electrons. But generally we need to find energy of 1 electron in a particular orbit. In that case we need to use the second formula, minus 2.18 10 raised to the power minus 18 multiplied by z square over n square in joule. तो जूल्स में अगर आपको फाइंड करनी है एक इलेक्ट्रॉन की एनर्जी तो आप इजीली फाइंड कर सकते हो. फॉर हाइड्रोजन एटम यू जस्ट डोंट नीड टू यूज दिस z स्क्वायर हियर, सिंपली put the constant value minus 2.18 multiplied by 10 raised to the power minus 18 divided by n square. n is the number of orbit जहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रॉन प्रेजेंट है. इलेक्ट्रॉन कैन बी एनीवेयर क्योंकि वो एब्जॉर्ब एनर्जी करके हायर स्टेट पे भी जा सकता है. तो n की वैल्यू आपको पुट करके इलेक्ट्रॉन उस टाइम पे कितनी एनर्जी पर है एटम के अंदर यू कैन इजीली कैलकुलेट. एंड दिस वैल्यू इन इलेक्ट्रॉन वोल्ट कैन ऑल्सो बी यूज्ड. This is minus 13.6 z square over n square in electron volt. So these values can be used according to the problems given in the question. And here remember one thing, this electronic energy is always negative. मतलब इलेक्ट्रॉन की एनर्जी जो है वो नेगेटिव होती है because at infinity when electron is very far from the atom then it doesn't feel any attraction. But when it starts approaching towards the nucleus applies a kind of attraction force towards the electron and attraction always results in decrease of energy. तो suppose electron की पहले energy 0 थी जब वो infinity पे था, then when it enters in a particular shell or in the premises of the atom, then the energy, electronic energy starts decreasing, means attraction की वजह से जो energy होगी वो decrease होगी. Then that is why electrons always have energy in negative. So this negative sign here signifies the attraction energy or the energy due to attraction force by the nucleus. Next very important aspect of Bohr's model is that he successfully explained the line spectrum of hydrogen. हाइड्रोजन के जस्ट एक इलेक्ट्रॉन वाले एटम के लिए भी उसके स्पेक्ट्रम में इतनी सारी लाइंस जो प्रेजेंट थी, दैट वाज नॉट एट ऑल बी explained by Rutherford's model. This was the major limitation there. Bohr was successfully able to explain this because he explained the concept of fixed orbits in the terms of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so on. So here now we can easily understand how these particular jumps are possible, which are called transitions actually possible in an atom. Electrons can jump from higher to lower energy state. At that time they will emit energy, and they can also jump from lower to higher. At that time they absorb energy. So here if you need to find what frequency, because if we are talking about emission spectrum, because line spectrum is actually, we know that emission spectrum. So to understand emission spectrum we need to use this concept that when electrons jump from a higher orbit to lower orbit, then they emit a particular amount of energy. So here we can use this formula to calculate the energy required for a particular jump is delta E is equal to E final minus E initial. So here, as we have seen, that formula of energy calculated by Bohr is minus 2.18 10 raised to the power minus 18, and 1 over this constant will remain same, and actually we need to find the difference of 1 over n square final minus 1 over n square initial. If you use this formula in positive value, like अगर आप इसको reverse कर दो 1 over n square initial minus 1 over n square final, then the starting sign of negative will be positive. So in any both of this way you can use that. Here this, remember one thing, this term minus 2.18 multiplied by 10 raised to the minus 18, this जो term fixed value है 2.18 वाली, ये एक्चुअली रिडबर्ग्स कांस्टेंट की वैल्यू ही होगी जो जूल में कैलकुलेट की हुई है. तो in few books you will see here RH also in place of this value. So this RH is actually equal to 2.18 10 raised to the minus 18 joule. And from this energy difference you can easily find the wavelength or the frequency by applying the Planck's quantum theory. E is equal to h nu. तो अगर E आपको पता है delta E, that is the difference of energy or the energy required for a particular transition, so you can easily convert it into lambda or frequency, whatever is asked in the question. Now we can have certain numerical problems. Calculate the energy associated with first orbit of helium ion. What is the radius of this orbit? तो यहाँ आपको कैलकुलेट करना है फर्स्ट तो एनर्जी कितनी है फर्स्ट ऑर्बिट हीलियम आयन के फर्स्ट ऑर्बिट में जो इलेक्ट्रॉन है उसकी एनर्जी फाइंड करनी है एंड रेडियस भी निकालना है. तो एज वी नो दैट फॉर्मूला फॉर एनर्जी minus 2.18 10 raised to the minus 18 joule and z square over n square. तो here z for helium is 2, n because first orbit की हम बात करें तो n would be 1. Put these value and you can easily find the answer. And secondly, radius can be given by the formula Rn is equal to a naught n square over z. A naught value here it is mentioned in nanometer. You can use any value in angstrom or in picometer. So 0.0529 nanometer is the a naught multiplied by n square, that is n is 1 here because we have to find the radius of first orbit. So 1 square over z की value 2 है. तो put this value and calculate. Next, what are the frequency and wavelength of a photon emitted during a transition from n5 to n2 state in hydrogen atom? So this is related to that line spectrum of hydrogen. अगर एक हाइड्रोजन एटम का इलेक्ट्रॉन 5th शेल से सेकंड शेल पे जंप करता है तो उसकी फ्रीक्वेंसी और वेवलेंथ क्या होगी. तो दिस टाइप ऑफ न्यूमेरिकल्स यू कैन सॉल्व यूजिंग रिडबर्ग इक्वेशन ऑल्सो, बट हेयर वी आर सॉल्विंग इट यूजिंग बोहर्स इक्वेशन. तो डेल्टा ए इज इक्वल टू, एज वी हैव डिस्कस्ड, ई फाइनल माइनस ई इनिशियल करके आप निकाल सकते हैं, और ई इनिशियल माइनस ई फाइनल. इन दैट केस आप अगर नेगेटिव साइन यहाँ चेंज करना चाहते हैं पॉजिटिव में तो यू कैन इजीली फाइंड दिस ईयर एन इनिशियल स्क्वायर माइनस एन फाइनल स्क्वायर एंड यू पुट द वैल्यू. एन इनिशियल इज 5 क्योंकि स्टार्ट कहाँ से हुआ, जंप 5th स्टेट से, और फाइनल आया कहाँ पे, इलेक्ट्रॉन जंप करके लोअर स्टेट, दैट इज द फाइनल. जस्ट रिमेंबर टू पुट द करेक्ट वैल्यूज ऑफ initial and final. The equation can be used in both way. If you are using delta E is equal to minus 2.18 10 raised to the minus 18 joule, then it would be 1 over n final square minus n initial square. But अगर आप इसको पॉजिटिव में यूज करो then it would be n initial square minus n final square. So remember this thing. Now put the values and you can calculate it easily. And here negative sign indicates the energy is emitted. For calculating wavelength and frequency, minus sign may be omitted. This, so if you write energy, negative sign is used only for energy. Otherwise, for wavelength and frequency, you don't need to use these negative signs. So now frequency is equal to, as you know that E is equal to h nu. So nu is equal to E over h. Put the value of E divided by Planck's constant and you can find the, and also for lambda you put use this relation C over nu. Now one more numerical. How much energy is required to ionize a hydrogen atom if the electron occupies fifth orbit? Compare your answer with the ionization enthalpy of hydrogen atom. Actually ionization enthalpy का मतलब होता है वो एनर्जी जो किसी इलेक्ट्रॉन को फर्स्ट ऑर्बिट से इंफिनिटी तक ले जाना, मतलब इलेक्ट्रॉन को एटम के इफेक्ट से बाहर कर देना. दैट इज कॉल्ड आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी और आयनाइजेशन एंथैल्पी. तो आपको पहले फिफ्थ ऑर्बिट के लिए इलेक्ट्रॉन की एनर्जी निकालनी है, फिर उसको फर्स्ट ऑर्बिट में अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन होगा तो उसकी कितनी एनर्जी, इन दोनों को कंपेयर करना है. फॉर फिफ्थ ऑर्बिट यू सिंपली यूज दिस इक्वेशन. If minus 2.18 10 to the minus 18, here they have used 21.8 10 to the minus 19, doesn't matter, एक decimal point इधर उधर है. And find it. For fifth orbit you can simply use this n square value for fifth, and because ionize करना है आपने तो means infinity तक लेके जाना है आपने, तो n final would be the infinity. तो put the value as for fifth orbit you can find 8.72 10 to the minus 20, and for first it would be 21.8 10 to the minus 19 joule. And now ratio निकाल लीजिए दोनों का, तो it would be 25 times more energy is required to remove electron from first orbit, because और ये अंडरस्टूड है कि फर्स्ट ऑर्बिट बहुत क्लोजर होता है न्यूक्लियस के, तो उतना ही ज़्यादा फोर्स लगता है न्यूक्लियस के इफेक्ट से आपको इलेक्ट्रॉन को बिल्कुल बाहर निकालने में. तो it is 25 times more energy is required to remove electron from first orbit. That's all about Bohr's model. Next we'll discuss what were the limitations in Bohr's model and how it will overcome in the next quantum mechanical model. Thank you and have a nice day.